Hello, my little mermaids. I hope you're doing well today. Hmm. But as I look at you, I can't help but feel like you're not. You look very tired and fatigued. You're all skin and bones at this point. I see those dark circles around your eyes. And you haven't been dieting properly, have you? Alright. Open up. You need some content. And try some peanut butter too. That's very good for you. So, what are we talking about today? Well, who else and what else other than the man of the year himself? Johnny Somali, or Ramzi Khalid Ismail if you prefer. We have some more updates to cover, and as you might have saw by the title, turns out he's an even bigger piece of trash than I thought. If that's even possible, because believe me, I didn't even think that highly of him in the first place. Now I am someone who's very grounded in reality. I think most of us are. There's a time and place for escapism. And because I'm such a realistic person, I try and evaluate moral reprehensibility. I'm even thinking that maybe one day we'll do a Wicked Binge style video about real life content creators. We'll rank them from evil to most evil. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. So, like I said, I try and evaluate moral reprehensibility, right? It's why I'm confident that Johnny is not a lunatic or a monster or anything cool like that. He's just a punk. I even think he's too cowardly to be a full-on narcissist. I think he just has traits of it, which is a different conclusion than what I came to with Vitaly. Of course, I could be wrong about all this, but I'm allowed to have my own perspective on this, aren't I? So we'll start by talking about some new clips, and then we'll get into his court updates, because there has been some developments there which are worth mentioning. And finally, after that, we'll get into that vile new charge that has me reassessing my view of Johnny's evil.
Is that like a healthy way to live? To just be like have your whole body, mind, and soul dedicated to giving content to your chat?
It's not, but I guess it's the life we live and the life we chose. Even when I go back home. When I came back home from Japan, like I was just in solitary confinement for 110 days, and I'm just like itching. Like, I'm bored. Like I'm like fuck. I still have my kick account at that point.
Do you feel like it gives you purpose? Is that why?
The way the interviewer's talking just reminds me of one of those interrogation tapes from the Batman Arkham games.
It makes life more interesting. It does, in a way. Like, you know what I mean? I think, what would I rather do? Go sit in a cubicle or go sit in my house? Or would I rather go travel the world and make adventures and meet people? While I'm still young and I'm still able to do it. When I still have the financial means and my body, the health means.
Ah, yes, traveling the world and meeting new people. Noble thoughts indeed. What an adventure you must have had. Perhaps in your next life you won't feel so compelled to twerk on random strangers and scream at old ladies.
But I'm sacrificing that now. I'm sacrificing mental health, physical health now. You saw 2 days ago someone punched me in the back of the head. So I feel like I'm aging myself actually quicker. It is stressful. You sacrifice yourself for this.
How much of yourself can you sacrifice before like there is no more Ramsey and it's just Johnny Somali?
I think if I get sent to prison again, I'm gonna go psycho. if, and I think at that point there's no more Johnny. There's no more Ramsey at that point. I feel like I'll go fucking crazy.
What a drama queen. He's talking like Johnny Somali is this split personality of his. But hey, who knows? Maybe one day Ramsey really will be gone forever. Perhaps Somali is all that will remain. Find out next time on True Crime. This is something Johnny's always done that I've never liked. He tries to control the narrative. He's not very good at it, but that's something a politician does. He thinks he's this master manipulator, but in truth, he's just really bad at it. He'll always say things like, I spilled some noodles, when he really just threw them out the door.
What would I rather do? Go sit in a cubicle or go sit in my house? Or would I rather go travel the world and make adventures and meet people? While I'm still young and I'm still able to do it.
Call the police, stupid ass bitch.
What is stupid ass?
Stupid ass. I didn't even drink here. Are you dumb? Why are you talking to me, you stupid ass, bald ass bitch?
Now the next clips are pretty awful. He talks about some very disgusting jokes with the ladies. And even then, it gets even worse when he talks about his plans for coming into court.
What do you think about the KKK outfit at the court? Is that too crazy? The kind one. The same one kind of had.
Bro, I know it's a wonderful idea, but you won't even have a platform. You'll just get automatic banned.
No, so now I'm gonna get my Instagram deleted again. You're saying
it's a wonderful idea. I'm not gonna lie. But you can't.
Yeah,
you can't do that and have a platform.
I really want to do the KKK shit, but
I know it's a good idea, but why isn't there anybody else doing the stunt? Because
you're right. There's no one else. No one else in the world is doing that. You're right. I haven't seen anybody but Kanye do that. So what could I do at the court? I'm gonna have reporters talking to me at the court, like in 2 days. Like the Korean news is coming. The last time I flipped them off and I said I love North Korea. Oh my god! I swear to God, I did.
And now you get it, don't you? He's supposedly concocting something nasty. We're not really sure if he's going to do anything. As we all know, Johnny doesn't really have any balls, only bark. But he can't exactly not prove us wrong at this point, right? We'll just have to wait and see.
I want to get a Korean girl, put her on a leash, and say, listen, I got my own comfort one. Oh, I got a statue no more.
Yes. Walk on a leash. Walk on a leash, yes.
Tro, I think that's the best idea we came up with. Put the Korean girl on the leash and say, this is my comfort. That's
my comfort. Yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie. That would go viral.
Oh, shit.
You need to go to like one of those Asian BDSM stores and just buy like a leash, a choker, and then buy some chains and tie the chain to the leash. And then, yeah.
There's literally an adult store right below Hank's apartment. I'll go there. Get all the material. Yeah. Amigo, what do you think about the fucking putting a Korean girl on the leash and saying, this is my new comfort woman?
So obviously none of that's gonna happen. The only leash around anyone's neck is Hank's leash around Johnny's. But this is what Johnny is at his core, just an incel. And when the courts see this, he's only dug himself further at that point. The dude is in genuine trouble, but still will not come to terms with reality. No, he'd rather triple down and see to it he never sees the light of day again, than just say sorry and actually mean it. But it's too late. He's cried wolf far too many times. It gets even worse too. He pulls out a rising sun flag from the Imperial Army of Japan from World War II. Which, if you're familiar with history, you'll understand why that's so messed up. But I'm not going to show that because I want this channel monetized eventually. He's mentioned the possibility of wearing that kind of propaganda to the courts as well. Which, quite frankly, after everything they did to Korea in the past, that would be even worse than the KKK outfit. Like, the Imperial Army of Japan did some of the most messed up stuff in history. I love Japan, like the modern day Japan with all the anime and stuff. But there's no doubt they have more skeletons in their closet than most countries. Now, before we get into the court updates, I wanted to take a few minutes to discuss the future of this channel.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
Yes, this 49 sub channel we both know you don't care about. But fret not. Because I love you and value your time, I'm going to give you a point of reference to skip to in case you want to get right into the important stuff. So, the future of this channel. I make a point not to make 2 Johnny videos in a row because I don't want to oversaturate the channel with that kind of content. I also don't like to milk content any more than I can. if I mention something in one video, then I'm not going to mention it in 2 videos. The only exception is when I accidentally spread misinformation, which I have to correct myself on, which I've done before. It's not like that's an issue. I can admit when I'm wrong. It's not a quality I feel like a lot of people have in modern society. That being said, Johnny is so controversial and refuses to stop burying his nose in dog poop that I keep finding myself with more content to make fresh videos about him. And I love documenting his downfall. So as things are right now, I don't see the Johnny Somali videos stopping anytime soon. I've had people get mad at me for making Johnny Somali content. They think I'm trying to milk this for some get-rich-quick scheme. And sure, I want to use them for views. What's the problem? No, seriously, take a minute and actually think, why would this make anyone mad? Everyone loves to throw tomatoes at the sky. It's not just about milking content. I genuinely enjoy making videos about this loser. It makes me happy. And if I get a few subs and views along the way, then that's awesome too. But they speak of this as if I'm just using this guy to make money. It's not that simple. I have a full-time job. I've taken on the arduous challenge of learning a new language, and it takes hours to edit videos. Believe me, my life is not easier than yours. I mean, it could be, and if that's the case, I'm sorry to hear that. But regardless, I am here to make a family of internet mermaids. And if you want to join that family, then go ahead. Stop resisting and just give in. I promise to take good care of you. But if you don't like my personality or you find me too crass, then that's fine too. By all logic, why would I want to become a content creator if I cared about other people's negative opinions? But I appreciate you recognizing the grind. First things first, Johnny's court date has been moved from April 9th to May 16th, so it's yet to happen as of this point. And the reason for this is because the lawyer requested more time to go over some new charges. And we're not just talking about the deepfakes either. There's more that's been piled on. As many of us know, Johnny's court-ordered defender was blindsided by the charges. I don't know if this was intentional sabotage or just incompetence, but it doesn't matter. He's objectively unreliable from the appearance of it. And then you have his paid lawyer that he's been bragging about the last month or so, who is perhaps even more useless as he has dug Johnny in even deeper. I was surprised Johnny even had the money for this guy and kind of wondered how good he'd be. Turns out he's pretty inexperienced. So clearly, Johnny got this guy out of the bootleg section of the black market. The paid lawyer of the Eastern District failed to stop charges from getting indicted, and these blindsided the court-appointed lawyer. The funny thing is, this could either be negligence or these guys straight up saying, "Let's take him down from the inside, boys." He's so insufferable that either possibility is entirely plausible, so take your pick. And here we have Johnny and the boys getting ready to fight the system. Fight the good old fight.
So Hank, how like don't say too much about the strategy, but tell them, what does the lawyer feel about this?
So notice how he starts things off here. What does the lawyer feel about this? Not what does Johnny feel about, not what does Hank feel about this. And he proceeds to say,
it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the law itself is also ridiculous because it just says embarrassment. It does not specify it.
Now, as the legal mindset pointed out, just because you feel the law is ridiculous doesn't mean it's unenforceable. And feelings are not going to win you this battle, especially not when every single one of your crimes is quite literally televised. Now, if you actually want the lawyer's words, though, then we have that too. This man has been quoted saying, "You can't put an American in jail."
They can't put an American in jail. They can't do it.
So is this really the best you have to offer, Ramsey? Show me a society in which someone's nationality grants them legal advantages, and I will show you a dystopia. Now let's finish this video off now by talking about Johnny's most serious charge. His newest charge, in fact. This charge is for something called CSH. I'm not going to go into too much description on what that is, but let's just dissect that abbreviation real quick. Started off with child, last word is harassment, and then put a very, very bad S word in the middle, and you get the idea. There are at least 3 instances of which Johnny Somali has actually angered me. First off was the comfort women statues. Once you understand the cultural significance of those, that becomes a very disgusting grievance. And then you had the MAGA hat. I don't like seeing Johnny Somali in a MAGA hat. It makes me very mad as someone who genuinely loves my country. And now we have strike 3. If there is one thing the world can come together on, more so than the hate for Johnny Somali, it is our love for the next generation, the innocent and untainted. Even I, someone who is only 23 and has no kids of his own, still has younger relatives of which I value and protect. So even someone as young as me is offended by this action. And then you have the mothers and fathers of the world. I can only imagine how they feel about this. And with this theme of cherishing the next generation, guess what Johnny did and where this took place? It all happened in Lotte World, a children's theme park in Seoul, which is basically the South Korean Disneyland. So Johnny went here and he knowingly played suggestive messages around kids. Yeah, let that sink in. He played lewd messages around minors. At this point, I want him registered as an offender. I know Johnny Somali's never been the biggest fan of standards, but come on, dude. That's an all-time low even for you. And it's not something the world is going to forgive. Johnny's not just a lame douchebag anymore. He's a rank fucking creep. Moving forward, we'll just have to wait for Johnny's next court date. Of course, we also don't know what stupid stuff he'll continue to do in the meantime. And what's gonna happen basically is he'll just plead guilty or not guilty. I imagine that, logically speaking, from his perspective, he's not going to want to plead guilty to the deep fakes. And the CSH crime alone carries with it 10 years in prison. At most. But you never know with that guy. He could plead guilty just for the bragging rights for all we know. There is a serious dichotomy in his personality after all, between the clout chaser and the coward. I'm starting to think Johnny's gonna be like 60 years old when he finally gets out. If he even gets out at all. Outside of that, nothing really interesting has happened. I mean, he's threatened to SA the female staff at the police station. He couldn't. They would all snap him like a twig. But you know how it goes. He's gotta act tough, buff out his chest. It's all bark. Nothing really beyond that. Anyways, that's about it. I'll talk to you later.